have a special show today with Glenn Parada.
Yes, sir.
Elijah Knight.
Yes, sir.
Isaac Parada.
Hey, what's up?
Not Glenn's son.
Clarify that.
Now, I have to read off the paper because you guys are nuts. So Elijah, Sergeant Knight.
Yes, sir.
Awards, National Defense Medal,
Yes.
Global War on Terrorism Service Medal,
Yes.
Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal,
Yes, sir.
and that's just off the top. Isaac, Award, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, tasked with over 1,000 different plans and policies while escorting generals.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just off the rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he has a real good story about that, but I'll let him talk about it.
Yeah.
But I want to know, how did you two, with all this, decide to work with Parada Mortgage?
Oh, man.
Who's gonna take
But
that
the
one?
thing is, you want
Okay, I'll do this, right? So one, as a Parada, you just have to be part of it. It's kind of like, this is a legacy. Glenn gave me the opportunity, and fortunately for me, I had the opportunity to come down here and be part of Parada Mortgage. I'm a very active guy. I love talking to people. I love to be part of something bigger than myself, right? When it comes to loans, when it comes to mortgage, we're helping people get their homes, no matter their first time, their second time, whatever it is, right? And so he told me, like, hey, I got this business going. Like, you want to be part of it? I'm like, absolutely. This is my name that's on the line, and it's like, let me build it with him. Let me make it better than what it can be in this moment,
And one thing I love about Parada Mortgage is Parada Mortgage embodies the same core values as the military. So pretty much when I'm working with Glenn or I'm working with Isaac, and we actually have other Marines, shout out to Joseph, Pastrana, T, and Eddie.
What's up, T?
And they're all over, and it feels the same. Like, honestly, I could never imagine myself being in a predicament or an environment where it's not like military based. So being around these guys, it's like home.
Let me tell you this real quick. When they're training for their license, I got them doing push-ups. Tell them about that.
No, exactly. So
Yo,
every time we got a question wrong, we will do push-ups. But the thing is, we did push-ups as a group. So if Isaac got something wrong, I was doing push-ups. If Joseph got something wrong, and sometimes we have a new guy on the group, and excuse my French, but he doesn't know jack shit. So that guy will be like, he could be completely wrong, and we'll all push as a group.
So I bring the same training from the military to the company.
Exactly.
So if one guy fucks up, you guys are all fucked.
We all fuck up as a group.
And matter of fact, just recently I was talking to Knight. I was like, Knight, the promotion, the numbers that you have to hit and stuff. We're gonna create a promotion type of environment, just like the military, that you have to hit to get promoted in the company.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how did you find these two?
This guy right here. Well, I found him by blood.
Nah, he just
That's
saw
my
me in the
nephew.
street. He saw me in the street in the box. He's like, bro, you want to do something?
You should join the Marines.
Yeah.
So,
He opened up the box for you?
Yeah.
but funny enough, on the other podcast that we did, remember that I always mentioned other people from New Jersey, my Army crew, what's going on?
Okay.
Santiago, Calderon, what's up, brother? That I told him to join the military and come back, and I would hire them, right? So in here in Florida, mostly it's Isaac doing his thing. And joining the company because he has to, and and we built from that, and then he brought. And I remember when I met Knight, I met him at a cigar lounge, and talking about the good news about Parada Mortgage, and then and here we are, So and then that has a domino effect with other Marines. Him passing, he just recently passed his exam, man. Big shout out to Knight, killing it. But he just passed, and it motivated other Marines to to come on board as well. So it was exciting.
Now, when they call you private, what does that mean? Because like when I'm reading it, it says, private Knight goes to MCRD Paris Island, which I heard is a nightmare for more than one person. What do they mean private?
So you actually start at a recruit phase. So the whole recruit phase is they actually used to have this terminology of like, you're pretty much E0. So E means enlisted. So E0 is pretty much like you're a recruit. Now, once you graduate boot camp, then you earn your title as a private. So private is like the very bottom. It's like they're the hardest workers. So from E1 to E3, all those guys are the hardest workers in the Marine Corps. They do all the dirty work. They get everything done. So that stage is pretty much
Those are
the
people that
hardest
build-
stages of the Marine Corps.
Yep.
So that's like the grunt stage.
Yeah, it's the
to
grunt,
next
like-
level.
They're,
Yes,
they're
yes.
basically the ones like, hey, you need something done, you'll send them to go do it. You know, they're the ones where because they're new, like you have to make sure they build character.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You know, to get ready for that to become an NCO, which is a non-commissioned officer in the enlisted in the Marine Corps. You know, they build character with that. So that way, when they're ready to become leaders, or actually, you know, in the Marine Corps, even when you hit an E2, you become a leader. You already become a leader.
Yes.
They push you in a position. That's the thing about the boot camp in Marine Corps is that you're already learning how to become a leader. You know?
At stage 1.
At stage one. At stage one.
So
That's the
I
thing
just want to
about
add to that real quick because in the Army, that's in the military in general, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Okay.
in the Army, when you enlist, you're already a leader. But go ahead, you can continue.
This podcast is brought to you by Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. It's the ideal combo of the right ingredients in the right proportion to deliver a big bad buzz that only Monster can. Monster packs a powerful punch, has a smooth, easy drinking flavor. Athletes, musicians, co-eds, road warriors, metalheads, geeks, hipsters, and bikers dig it. You will too. Monster Energy is more than just the green OG. Monster has Monster Ultra, Juice Monster, Monster Hydro, Rehab Monster, Dragon Tea, Monster Max, Muscle Monster, and many more. Buy on Amazon, buy on Walmart, or go to monsterenergy.com and believe me, you'll find a place. Unleash the beast. Monster Energy.
No, but hey, to really simplify it, you know, it's, you know, becoming an E1 to E3,
Yeah.
those are where, you know, you put those building blocks together. You know, you learn and you adapt. And that way, when you become an E4 and NCO, you know, you have the leadership, you have the mentality of, I've been through this, I know what it's like. You guys are gonna have to go through it, but trust me, believe it, I know what I'm saying, you know, and I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna show you how to get through that. I'm gonna show you the process. I'm gonna show you how to get there, and you're gonna become better than me. That's always what we always want to do, no matter if it's family,
That's
friends, or even the Marine Corps.
Exactly.
You always just want to grow.
Now, your family is from Guatemala and El Salvador,
Yeah.
huh? Now, that's a mix there.
Oh yeah, it is.
What was that? What was those dinners like?
Oh man, I
Great, great.
No, it's obviously great, and the pupusas, and this is amazing, you know. But no, it's cool. It's cool being that. It's a very. I was kind of part of the majority in PG County, which is in Maryland, because everybody was Central American, you know, over there, and majority are like Salvadorans and Guatemalans too, you know. But they were either Salvadorians or Guatemalans.
What-
I was so happy to be both, you know. And so it was cool, you know. But and even coming here to, you know, getting stationed here in Florida, it's crazy because I just became a minority of the minority, you know. Over here you got Cubans, you got Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and so over there I was like, yeah, everybody knew what pupusas was, everybody knew what Salvador is, was part like what's in El Salvador, what it is in Guatemala, and all this stuff. But then now you like people are like, what's pupusas? I never heard of pupusas before. I'm like, yo, I gotta put you on.
That sounds like a T-shirt. The minority of the minority. I like that.
You know, but it's crazy, you know. You know, just being a mixed kid, but in the end of the day, like I love it. I love being. I'm proud of being Hispanic, and I'm proud of being Salvadoran, Guatemalan, especially to the future president of El Salvador.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But then your family were real estate agents. Right?
Oh,
They were in real
yeah.
estate, and I heard you can dance a little bit.
Ah man.
So
Oh, he can dance. He can dance really well.
So you're basically growing up to get into real estate from the gate, but your dream is to be in the military.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
can dance.
Yeah.
Let's just clarify. It's mortgages. But yeah.
Oh yeah, mortgages, but you know,
Sorry.
It's a big difference. Realtor and mortgages. That's why.
you know what's so funny is that because like growing up, my mom and my dad were both in the mortgage industry. And so was my uncle too, you know, and so like they would tell me stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. My mom would say she's a processor. Oh, okay. My dad would tell me like, you know, he was a loan officer. I'm like, okay, you know, but I never understood that until coming here, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, now I know what y'all do exactly, you know. And so, you know, it was cool. It's cool that, you know, I'm kind of following the path, and I truly love it. I truly love it. Again, it's the opportunity to be able to say, hey, I'm gonna help you out, get a house. You know, in Parada Mortgage, we don't say, our quote is, we don't say no, we show you how. And that's what I love.
I've heard that about 10,000 times.
And
But it's true. It's true.
I'm glad he remembered that.
We do it daily. We do it daily.
And that's the thing about it, you know, is the fact that we tell ourselves, hey, you know what? We're going to figure out how to help you out. We're going to figure out how to get you your first home. Hey, you're a veteran. You're having a struggle right now. Let me help you. We're gonna figure something out.
And how dirty is the real estate game? Like because you guys are in it.
Mhm.
So we're on the outside of it. I just see prices that are ridiculous. But besides the prices, how dirty is the game?
I mean, it can get ugly.
No, it's definitely get ugly.
Yeah, it can. But the thing is, it's all about being ethical, and that's another thing I love about this company is it's all about the core values. Like it's in the Marine Corps we have honor, courage, commitment, and hitting on honor. That's something that we have as, especially me passing my my SAFE exam, the NMLS exam. It was like the greatest honor. It was like going through boot camp all over again.
Mental boot camp.
It was mental because it was hard. So I went through, during that stage in my life, I went through a MCAT inspection, which is like the hardest, like it's a financial inspection in the Marine Corps. So we're getting pretty much looked at on all finances. And we passed with a 90%. Thank God we did. So our commanding officer, our inspector instructor was very, very thrilled to hear that that we passed with such a high score. But it took a lot of work to get to that. And during that time, I was actually studying for my exam. And Glenn was like, "Hey man, you gotta pass this shit. Like I'm not trying to hear any excuses. Like just pass this shit." And also during that time, I was watching my daughter too. So every other weekend I was getting my daughter, and I just didn't want to not see my daughter. So the weekend my last weekend to study for the exam,
You had your daughter.
I had my daughter. So
I remember that.
So literally, I talked to her. She's 3, so she can't really understand. So I did take her to the park for about like 3 hours, and I was like, look, baby, like I'm gonna study as much as I can, but this is for us. This is for our future. So literally, and Glenn told me, and he has many stories. So he's been in my exact same shoes. So when I did that, I was just all I was thinking about was like just the future. I was like, this is just for us.
And that's the thing about it too, because everybody knows in the mortgage industry, that's where like a lot of money is at, And that's why like it's ugly. It's ugly because people know that's where money. Everybody needs a house.
When it comes down to money, people will do whatever they have to
exactly.
do. And I just you were on the phone call actually last night.
Yeah.
On the phone call when the lady got 2 other offers from mortgage companies that were crap. They were lies. They won't put the real numbers down and everything. And I broke it down to her. I said, listen, to be honest with you, this is fake. They didn't put this fee. They didn't put that fee. They didn't put that fee. And she was so thankful. She decided to come with Parada Mortgage.
And that probably means more to you guys than whatever profit you make off of it.
Exactly.
Just the fact that she's thankful. You'll make your buck somewhere else.
What's about it too is that with the people we like tell them like, hey, this is why, this is how it is. This is this and this and that. We don't say here's a paper and we tell you why this is in this paper. We tell you, hey, this is what this means.
Exactly.
We educate them. And that's the thing about it. He explains to her, hey, why this is fake. Why is this doesn't make sense? Why this is, pointless, like he explains it to her. And that's the thing about Parada Mortgage, it's we care about the customer. We care about the consumer,
And how often do you run into that kind of thing?
A lot.
A lot?
A lot, because there's lazy loan officers. When I got into the industry, I figured out that the loan officers wouldn't take that extra step. And for me, that extra step meant thousands of dollars. For them, they were just being lazy. So I was like, well, why can't we just help the person out and still make money at the same time? It sounds like a cliche, right? Do what you love and make a lot of money. But we were really helping out these people. I had families cry in front of me and say, Glenn, what you're doing, I never thought that I could qualify for a home. This is going to change my family. There's a woman with her 2 daughters, I remember, and I didn't believe that she did what she did, but she did the floor work herself, a woman. Like she was doing...
Scrub the floor?
Yeah, no, like build floors. You know what I mean?
Build floors?
Like, yeah. So I was like, "You do that?" She was like, she was like shorter than me and everything. But
what's her number? I got for her to build.
But she didn't have a social. She had an I-10, right? So, but she was trying to have the American dream, which is have a house. So when I pre-qualified her, she literally started crying in front of me, and her 2 daughters are right there, and they started hugging and crying. And dude, I was like swallowing apples, man. You know what I mean? But we really do change people's lives. And when I talk to the people that come on board on Parada Mortgage, for those that want to join the team, it really is a boot camp. It really is a mental thing, because I'll tell you one thing, and I told them as well. I said, while we're training, I'm going to get on you. But once you pass that training, I'm going to be your drill instructor, and you're going to love me and hate me at the same time, but it's going to make you better. And as far as having excuses don't exist to me. I've been, if I can just add, I've been homeless. I've lived, I believe this so much to the core. I've lived out of my car to make it happen. And then, there's a documentary that we're working on, and some other stuff that's going to explain the whole story, selling tickets in Times Square with comedy tickets. You have no idea what I had to go through to establish Parada Mortgage. So when people have excuses, not saying they're not valid, but I've said this before. I said, just do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You did it.
That's it. With kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oof.
I signed on when I moved from Maryland after the crash to New Jersey. I signed on a lease without a job, without money. And my wife looked at me and I said, I'll figure it out, honey. And I did.
Look where he's at now. Look where he's at now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very grateful to be in this position, just because I have a mentor like Glenn Parada and many other mentors that he has even linked me with. And now we just embody that spirit. It's just, there's no excuses. And I feel like that's what's lacking in today's society. A lot of, especially in the men, that men make a lot of excuses. Men they look in the mirror and they're not even happy with themselves.
Well, they give everybody trophies now, so nobody works hard.
But and then also with social media, it's like who has, like, everyone is
tied into their
it's
phone,
a big pity party.
iPad.
Yeah, it's a big pity party.
On that, I do have to add something, Tommy. You just got an award from YouTube, and you worked hard for that, man.
Thank you.
I know you don't mention that. You're so humble,
Thank
man.
you.
But just
Thank you.
hold that up, man. Hold that up. Let people know, man.
Shout out to
God bless
Tommy.
you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Again,
Thank you, guys.
they're not paid. These are
These are official. Official.
100%. 100%.
I
Yeah.
respect Tommy,
Official.
man.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that.
I really appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank
No,
you.
of
It
course.
just goes to show you
course.
put in your work and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, man. But hey,
Appreciate that.
just
Appreciate it.
everyone here, pushes. That's how it is,
Gotta work
and that's
hard.
the thing about it. When you work hard, you get an award. It shows. It doesn't have to be physical.
That's
it
part
can
of
be
leadership.
exactly. You don't get a participation award because
Doesn't exist.
you tried. No,
A participation award would have been, all right, Tommy has a podcast. Good job, Tommy.
yeah.
No.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you have one too? Here's a trophy too.
You have
Yeah.
one subscriber.
Yes, one.
Fuckers,
You
I
have
hate
one
that
subscriber.
shit.
Oh, you're
That's
doing
your
a
mom.
podcast from your basement and $100, Fisher Price little podcast thing you got? No,
I can
you know,
think of somebody who has something like that.
but you
Shots
earned
fired.
it. So I said, yeah, I
Oh,
love
it's
it. So leadership, and I think I mentioned it earlier to you guys, right? Leadership is part of success.
Yes, it is.
Right. So if matter of fact, Isaac just promoted someone to Lance Corporal, if I recall.
Oh yeah.
And
Independent
congratulations
Marine.
on that, brother.
Good for you, man. Good
So
for you.
that means he's doing his job as a leader, and people are getting promoted under his leadership.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that type of success, then what are you doing, right?
you just gotta push it. I had a Marine who failed his PFT, and in the Marine Corps you have to pass your PFT. That's just required. And so me and another corporal, we both downloaded the app and we're like, hey, we're gonna start running, and this is our mark, right? And we all three made sure we were on top of each other, right? He was a rank below me. But there was times when I didn't run and he told me, hey, did you run, Corporal? I'm like, no, but you know what? I'm gonna go run. And I did it. We heard our marks.
And
we
you
did
were
what I
on
did.
top of him.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But
'Cause
you guys are all together.
That's beautiful.
today,
That's-
right? Because he failed the run, right? He beat his time by 3 minutes. He
Beat off 3
passed
minutes.
He
In a month.
Not only
Good.
did he pass the PFT, he got a first class. But it goes to
Very
show,
good.
you have that leadership, put in that effort, work hard, and that success was come not just on you, but to everyone else that that you want to help.
Now, to get to the point where you're at now, though, you had to go through the whole Marine thing with both of your completely impressive records. So I want to know what is Marine combat training? So when they say that, what really is that? Because I can read it, I've read it, but what is it?
It's been a while, but So it's pretty much, it's 30 days of basic infantry training. So you do about 3 hikes during MCT training. You also do a lot of ranges. So you get to do night shoots. It's pretty cool experience. And also you do field training too. So the field training is pretty much getting, your sleeping bag, typical grunt stuff.
Kicking down doors too.
Yeah.
When you say hike, like how much of a hike?
Was it? Is it?
It could be like 3, 6, 10 miles.
I think it goes up to 15K.
Yeah, it goes up to 15K.
Yeah.
10-mile hike?
I mean,
Oh fuck that!
And that's not including with the pack too.
But it's not that bad. You
that's
just
the pack.
It's not that bad.
It's not
you
that
just
bad.
got to keep going, and that's how, and stuff like that actually teaches you.
It's the mentality.
It's being persistent, and that's
Marine Corps way.
But in the army, though,
yeah.
it's longer than that. That's a little walk.
You see, the thing about it is that, with boot camp, it's building that character. It's the first phase. There's 3 phases. Well, now, I'm sorry, there's 4 now.
There's 4 phases. Yeah.
The first phase is breaking down. It's breaking down that person completely, no matter if you get in their face, but you're breaking them down who they were to build them up to who they will become.
So hold that thought, because that's very important what you just said. Can you remember when that happened in boot camp?
Of when I broke down?
When you were like, you broke down? Because I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I'll share my story real quick, and then you can share yours. This is like super important, because I remember I was in formation, and a female, the drill sergeant, they call them drill instructors, came up, and she started like giving us crap, and I was like, you know what I mean? And I was like smirking. I'm looking at the guys and smirking, and literally, because when you're in formation, everyone's dressed like we're like this. I saw the drill instructor kind of like notice me that I'm moving around, right? Because you noticed that, right?
Yeah.
Man, they came and got me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I cried, and that was that moment. I was in boot camp because I broke down. They destroyed me. They destroyed me completely. Do you remember when that happened?
Sure, I remember mine. Yo, I was a platoon leader. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, a squad leader. I was a squad leader, and I remember that with my squad, I had this one guy who, like, oh man, he likes to smile, and in boot camp, there's no such thing as smile.
Oh yeah,
there's just pain.
No smile.
And so, he would smile, sometimes joke around.
Pain, hate, and discontent.
And
that's what they call it.
Yeah, and it got to a point where we had something called like an IT, with like intense training, right? And they will just look at you. They're like, yeah, you're gonna go and get IT'd. And we had a little black mat inside in our in our squad bay. And this one guy, I don't know why, he was just smiling. And he's like, you know what? Who's your squad leader? And I was like, dang. Right? And then, he said my name, Recruit Parada. And then they're like, Recruit Parada, get here. Go over there. He's like, and this means, get down. You know what this means.
Push-ups.
And yeah, so I took off my blouse. I'm like, all right, here we go, right? And I started, doing this thing where you, how can I say, you on a plank, right? You're on a plank, and they'll tell you a time, right? Just like a clock. They'll say like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatnot, and you go into the position, right? I did that for like 10 minutes, right? And I'm dying because of the plank, and I'm sweating and everything. And the whole time, the drill instructor is like, you want to see him in hurt? You want to see him in pain? And the dude looks at me, and he's like, that broke me. I was like, you're one of my, you're with me. You're a part of my platoon. I'm like, you're just smiling that I'm like dying inside. And I was like, dog, I was hurt. I was like, dang, bro. And so the drill instructor was like, okay, tight. And then he said, get up. And I got up, started doing more workouts. And he's like, you're really smiling for that? And the dude is like, and that's when like he's like, all right, cool, you get there, product, get out. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? That's it. I broke down because I was like, at that moment, I was like, I'm gonna change. I'm completely change because at that point it's like I need to change who I am. Because at the end of the day, I'd be like, back then I was like, oh, I'm gonna care for you. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care who you are. Like I'm gonna do what I can for you. At that moment, I was like, no,
yeah,
cool.
Lock them up.
Yeah.
What about you, Knight?
So, I mean, the way I definitely had an attitude problem in high school, and I had I grew up in Newburgh, New York. It was a rough area. Not gonna lie, growing up, I I lost a really good friend of mine through gang violence.
Sorry.
Actually, I have him tatted on my chest.
Sorry to hear
And,
that. Man.
Thank you. But it definitely showed me. That's the reason why I went to boot camp, which is to get away from all this, the violence, and I don't want to get caught up. I don't want to be a statistic. So I was like, no, I'm gonna go better my life, go to boot camp. But then going there and like having that attitude I had before, I realized real quick, all right, that is not that
ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna cut it, because at the end of the day, because they don't care who Elijah Knight was back in Newburgh, New York.
Absolutely not.
At the end of the day, we're all cut from the same cloth, and that's something that my leadership always says today. We're all cut from the same cloth. You know, we all amount to the same equivalent amount. Like
We do this thing where like we don't say if you're black, white, Hispanic, and whatnot. We're like, hey, you're dark green, you're light green, whatever it is. Because in the end of the day, like you said, we're cut from the same cloth, you know. And in the day, we're all green.
we're all green.
We're all green.
Yep.
You know. So
Now both of you advanced so fast. You know, you went from there, and then you go to the 4th Air Naval Gunfire Liaison Company, West Palm Beach. Did I say that right?
Oh, liaison.
Yeah.
Liaison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't, I'm going to
For
jumble this
Ennico.
all up, but yeah. So explain that to me.
So pretty much, I'll explain. I'll just give you like a little brief scenario of like my whole career. So I went to 511, which is 5th Battalion, 11 Marines out in Camp Pendleton, California, in 1st Marine Division. So it was a HIMARS unit. So HIMARS is pretty much missiles. So it's rockets. So it's artillery unit. Pretty badass. Got to see them shoot. A lot of cool missions that have been conducted with 511. Really, really, really grateful. I did a lot of Marine Corps shit too. So a lot of field missions. But that unit, it taught me to pretty much grow up. Like there's no babying Marines. There's no, you know, throwing a little pity party, because like they and since it's a field, we go to the field a lot. They will teach you out in the field, and the attitude that I was bringing from New York to that environment, it just didn't work, and I'll get taught, you know, to let that go. And one thing, when I was a private, the first thing I asked my sergeant at the time, he was a tremendous Marine, got meritoriously promoted. So I was like, you know what? How'd you get meritoriously promoted? Like, how'd you surpass all your peers in your career? So he actually showed me pretty much the blueprint of how to do it. And I pretty much, and I took that, and I got meritoriously promoted all the way up. So it's like I said, all glory to God. Honestly, I'm a firm believer in God. So all glory to Him. But He showed me in my first round at the time, really showed me, and they believed in me, and they instilled that confidence in myself to actually, while I was at 511, even though I was an administration's Marine, I was a PSO. So PSO was actually teaching Marines how to shoot. So I was teaching Marines how to shoot Mark 19s, 50 cals off of Humvees. I also did grenade ranges. So I was teaching Marines how to throw grenades. It was
How do you throw a grenade?
honestly, it's not like the movies where you get the
Like you pull it out of your
no.
teeth and throw it, fucking run?
If you do that, you're actually going to rip out a tooth.
Oh really?
Yeah, so you cannot do that.
you can't just throw it and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hold the whatever, put the pin
Yes.
back. No.
So honestly, it's
No, seriously. How do you throw a grenade?
So it's like literally you just twist. It's been a while, but from what I remember, it's been since like probably 2018 since I've done it.
Educational purposes only.
Yeah. So from what I remember is you have to, there's like a safety pin inside. So just in case if you drop it, or it's not just going to automatically just go off by itself. You pull out the safety pin, and then there's a lever. So even though you still have it, if you release that lever, then you have 5 seconds, and it's gonna blow up. So pretty much when you have it in your hand, you're releasing the lever when you throw it. But so at the grenade ranges, there's like a barricade, right? And when you're throwing the grenade, you have to make sure it clears. If it doesn't clear, then my job was, as the PSO, was to grab that Marine, throw him over the and I had some Marines that came close. So there was times I was like, oh my God, like, because it's nerve-wracking, because sometimes Marines will freeze up and they'll like, oh, I have a live grenade in my hand. Like, and they'll just, I had one guy that was like this, like he was just like, kind of, it was like, he was shaking so much.
His balls were in his neck.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He was scared. He was like shaking like this and just shivering. And I was just like, all right, just breathe.
Like a dance.
Exactly. So like, it was like I had a shake weight. But I was like, just breathe, just relax, and let's just go through it. You know, it's a good experience. And then as soon as they throw it, I take them, I just grab them, and I just shield them under the barricade, and I make sure that it clears through. Once we hear boom, I'm like, okay, next Marine. So that's pretty much the whole process.
I mean, the Army could have answered that better, but that's
I was just always curious how long you had, because you always see them on like you said in the movies,
Yeah.
they bite it off with their
Yeah.
teeth, and then boom, bang.
I believe it's 5 seconds, right?
yeah, 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Yep.
And you point out and you.
Yep.
they
Oh, yeah.
spread
That's.
out. You know what I'm saying? I'm Army, but yeah, go ahead.
No,
But
we do.
I can
we do
explain
the same
that
as
better than.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but yeah, you do the whole point out, and you make sure they throw. Like they have to throw and like throw their whole body weight into it because.
And scream it out.
Yep.
But I'm just saying.
Now you advanced so fast, and then you got the opportunity to where you're able to hand out awards to other Marines. How does that feel to be able to hand out an award to another Marine?
Honestly, so what I do is pretty much I could put recommendations in. The first sergeant actually he's the one that hands out awards. So if I'm at a
I
point,
apologize. I mean, being part of.
being part of the so it's honestly it's kind of like I feel like it happened so quick, you know. So now I'm at a stage in my life where I'm like, I don't want the award anymore. So now I'm like, I want Isaac to have the award. I want my other Marine Butler. I have another Marine, Lance Corporal Butler, who's actually I'm gonna put him on a meritorious board. So he's gonna go to he's gonna get meritorious promoted to corporal. He's gonna win. No doubt about it. He's gonna win. Fantastic Marine. But to see my Marines grow in that state is the best thing. It feels better to watch my Marines actually win and succeed in life than me going through my own success. So it's like I've already done it, and I paved. It's like how Glenn is doing with us. He already paved the way. It's up to them to build that legacy. You know, I can't force the Marine to get meritoriously promoted. He has to want it. But if he wants it, I'm going to show you how to do it.
Yeah, I asked because I asked them. A lot of Marines are a lot older than you.
Yes,
and they said the same thing, that they got to a point where it was no longer about them.
No, it's not.
You know,
it's not about me at all anymore.
it was more important to them to give back,
exactly,
help out their brothers, and that was it. Like
exactly.
Instead of okay, I need to get this award and that award. Now it's how can I help my team and my brothers around me. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Now how you have to explain this in detail. How in the hell do you do 1,000 tasks on what policy?
Yeah.
And what was it? Policy and what else?
Plans and policies. I mean, driving the generals too. So.
Yeah, 1,000 tasks
in the Pentagon, if we can add.
In the Pentagon, and driving generals to wherever the hell they need to go. That who knows who's trying to shoot at them or whatever the fuck is going on.
So actually, where I work, right, was used to be part of the Pentagon, right, and they moved it outside of the Pentagon. But I'll tell you what, right, it's the fact that, man, those policies come out every day. I would think to myself, I'm like, all right, there could be ones and twos and whatnot, but every day I go to work, it's always like 10, 20, 30, and we keep going, you know. And I mean, funny story ever was, and I'm telling you, like, God is great because, opportunities come in front of you when, he plans it, of course. And I'm fresh out of boot camp. I get to, at the time was 4th CAG in DC, and I'm freshly new. I'm freshly new as a Marine, as a PFC. And what happened was, at one point in time, this corporal that was that used to work because we have reservists, right? That they become Marines, maybe like there are Marines, one weekend of the month, but most of the time they're civilian doing civilian jobs. This guy was a civilian at that same headquarters, and he gave the opportunity to another corporal, right? Because they know each other for a while. She said she couldn't do it. He tells the other corporal she couldn't do it. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give it to this Marine. I'm like, heck yeah, I'll take it, right? I'm like, you know what? Working with these generals, I'm like, absolutely, right? So I fill out what I need to fill out and whatnot.
What was that, ADOS orders?
Yeah, it was on ADOS orders for a year. And when I gave the papers, I was like, after a couple of days, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm freshly out of boot camp. I'm about to work with a 1-star general. I'm like, dang, it's gonna be crazy, right?
Now explain how important a 1-star general is.
Oh, the word general is alone. It's
By
like
itself,
you just think
yeah.
about it, so it's just crazy, But you have a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, and then you have the commoner, which is a 4-star, and of course there's only one 4-star, but still generals overall is just, let alone it's crazy, to be a part of. So when I got there, it was crazy, because you see everybody working and working and working and working nonstop. Some people work there to like late at night because it's their job. Of course, this is the plans of policies. These plans are to better shape the Marine Corps. It's to help out the Marines, and having the opportunity was amazing. Having the opportunity to meet that, and then one of my sergeants, shout out to him. He used to be a sergeant, Sergeant Brooks. I remember one time, funny story was that we had this thing in the Marine Corps called McMac belts, right? Where it's pretty much like self-defense, mixed martial arts, right? And you go up from tan to gray to green to brown to black, right? I remember one time I had this policy in my hand, right? And it was minimize, like kind of, how do I say, is you have to be a certain rank to meet a certain belt, right? And I was a Lance Corporal at the time, and I saw that, and I was like, oh no, I need to belt up. And so that was a great opportunity for me because I belt up.
Before the policy hit.
Before the policy hit, I was like, all right, before this policy hit, I'm gonna get this. And I became a black belt, because my sergeant, Sergeant Brooks at the time, he was a McMap instructor. And I mean, it was a fun time, but it sucked at the same time because they IT you, they hit you hard, they make sure like
Black belt Marine.
it was crazy. And so people look at me, they're like, how are you a Lance Corporal with a black belt? I'm like, listen, man, I just knew stuff, So that's why.
You know what? One of the stories that you told me from when you were working there, tell me about the chance that the guy that you worked under, they made a movie about.
Oh, Dr. Strobel. Oh my God. So the movie, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Chance, right? Oh, you have to watch it. It's on HBO.
It's amazing.
So
it's a beautiful story.
Michael Strobel, right? So quick backstory about Michael Strobel. He basically one day there was a PFC Chance, right, who fortunately passed away, right, sacrificing his life to make sure his Marines were taken care of back in the war. And fortunately for him, Michael Strobel, right, at the time, I believe he was I want to make sure I get this right. I think he's a captain or a lieutenant colonel, right? I can't remember exactly. He saw that Chance was in the same hometown as him, right? Because we have when people pass away, we have a casualty side, right? Where, they look at the casualty, we make sure we get their bodies to where they need to be for their families, for them to properly, bury them, right? Michael Strobel saw the list and saw he was the hometown, and he wanted to make sure that Marine got to his home safe and sound, right? So he volunteered, right? As an officer. Officers don't do that. So he volunteered, and from a little back and forth, not too much back and forth, they finally gave in, right, and let him do it. And throughout the whole time, he writes down his story on how the difficulty it was going through certain things, Quick, and part of the movie was that he literally with the how can I say it, the casket. He was with the casket 24/7. Never lost sight of the casket. I'm talking about with the plane. He was with the casket in the plane. And it's an amazing story because it shows you how.
Gotta see the movie.
It's amazing.
They made a movie out of that.
Taking chance.
Yeah.
Taking chance.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
It's an incredible story.
What's the guy from Footloose again? What's his the actor name for Footloose?
From Footloose. Who's in Footloose?
Oh, Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin
yeah,
Bacon stars him,
he plays.
and they won an award for it. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's a great movie.
It just goes to show you, like, in the military, in the Marine Corps as well, specifically in the Marine Corps too, is that we're all brothers. We're all one way somehow, like we're all connected no matter what.
And I'm gonna give you guys credit on that. These guys go to funerals like every week
Religiously.
Basically.
Like they go there and they serve it and they make sure that Marine is buried the way that he should be buried. So big credit on that, guys.
Oh man, it's great. Yeah, but
how tough is that every time though? When you hear another one.
It takes a toll on you,
Everyone. Right?
It takes a toll on you.
It definitely it does take time away from our weekends, but it didn't really hit me like how important it was until I was actually one of the presenters. So the presenters is you pretty much you do the folding flag ceremony, and then the folder checks the flag, make sure the QCs it, make sure it's all straightforward. There's no red showing on the flag. Then he gives it to the presenter. Then it's your turn to present it to the next of kin. and when you present to the next of kin, sometimes they can be very, very emotional. So when I presented to the next of kin, one time, my first time, the lady actually grabbed me, and she just started sobbing, and you have to read a script. So like I was in the middle of my script, and then she grabs me, and I just stopped. Like I just stopped for a second. I was like, oh shit, like this is really, like, she's really emotional. And then I just looked at her and I just finished up the script, and then I stood at attention. I finished off with the salute, and then just kicked it on to the future funerals. But it's definitely a very important task, and that's like a no-fail mission right there. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. Because if that's someone's funeral,
Right.
Do you remember that police officer that committed suicide and then his wife committed suicide here in Florida?
No.
Oh, it was like a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it was all over. It was all over the news. I don't know if you remember that, but Isaac was in that funeral because he was a
part of
Marine.
it, and hundreds and hundreds of people showed up, and I was like, it's crazy, and it
All over the news.
It took a toll on me because they brought in so quick backstory about that. The guy committed suicide. He was a Marine, right? He was a Marine. He committed suicide, and I can remember exactly like a day or two later, his wife committed suicide, and she had the baby in the car. She walked out of the car and committed suicide, and it shocked me. I was like, what? Like when I heard the story,
Yeah.
and it was insane because what's funny was that I was placed on a funeral. And I remember talking about the story, and then I was also, being told I was on a funeral, and I was like, because of course I volunteered for it, and I get to the funeral, I'm like, so wait, this is what we're talking about? This is the one that's going on the news? And I was shocked, and I was like, whoa, hundreds of people of different uniforms showed up, and I remember seeing the baby carried out by the guy's brother, and I remember just looking at the baby, and I remember at one point when they placed it, like they were talking, the baby started crying. And I was like, oh my gosh. But let me tell you something, right? There was another story that really took me because I had to watch like the open casket as people came. Unfortunately, a Marine active duty got in a car crash, and we had and then at one point we had to salute as the plane came in with the casket, and we took it, right? The next day we were put on guardian angel duty, right? Which was, we would be, sitting next to it, making sure nobody harms the body or whatnot. It sucked because family members would come, the mother, the grandparents, the uncle, the cousins, and they were just like, I remember this vividly. Being on the right side was the grandmother begging for him to come back, begging for him to please don't tell me this is true, and it hit me, right. And I, of course, as a Marine, you just stay there, keep your banks and whatnot, but it sucked because it's like, dang, and it hurts me because at the end of the day, I didn't know this guy, I don't know who he was. But in some way, somehow, it was a connection. I know that we lost a brother, and it hurt me. It hurt me to see them begging for him to come back. And they got on their knees and was just hoping, And I remember one of the, I think the mom came and grabbed a napkin to clean the face a little bit. And it's how it sucks. My mom always told me she never wants to be, and I think any parent can say this. They don't want to live to see their child funeral. They never want to do that, and it sucked because it's it reminded of what my mom would say all the time. She would say it all the time, and it sucked because it's oh, man, So those stuff, it's definitely taking these funerals would definitely take a toll on you, and you just got to understand just pay your respects no matter what.
Big respect though for all you guys going to that. I want to ask you about the Global War and Terrorism Medal that you got.
The GY.
Oh, that's pretty much it's more of a 30 days of regular active duty. It's like the ribbon that pretty much everyone gets of just 30 days of regular active duty. So it's kind of just not really given out. I think we have to do more clarification on it for.
Yeah, we have to do more clarification.
Yeah, because a lot of reservists don't get it, but pretty much it's like you're welcoming in the fleet, and then that you receive that ribbon.
Remember, at the time during that time we were still going against Afghanistan, so we were like, hey, we signed up, and we all knew hey, if you sign up, you might get deployed to Afghanistan, you might have to do what you needed to do, and so we were like, I'm willing to make that sacrifice, and that's what
you're serving during the time of war.
Yeah, pretty much
during that, so you get that ribbon.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now, what do you guys think about this whole Ukraine-Russia thing? I know everybody asks you about it, but
text all the time.
But they're acting like Putin's lost his mind. I mean, you guys know more than me. I don't think that guy lost his mind for 2 seconds. To me, it seems something isn't right.
So to me, like every president has one goal, right? And it's to grow within their country, to better their country, right? And some people have different ways of taking that, And Putin's way was try to conquer Ukraine, And it's unfortunate because he kind of almost made it seem like I'm gonna have it my way, or actually he made it seem like that, right? And he kind of threatened people. I don't know if you heard, like he made it almost sound like he was threatening nuclear war if things, didn't go his way. And it's unfortunate to hear that because, World War III can occur due to this situation,
Yep.
And my thing with this whole Ukraine thing is those individuals who are currently in Ukraine, currently fighting, mad respect to them. I don't know if you heard about the story of, I believe it was 13 or 14 Ukrainians who defended a island, right? And the Russians brought a ship, and they're like, "Hey, surrender now. Then there's gonna be no bloodshed and no nothing." The Ukrainians told them to go F themselves. But that shows you, they're and unfortunately, unfortunately though they died. But they, think about it, that
Down for the cause.
But they went out.
They were down for the cause because
for the
they were
cause.
willing to serve their country. To this day, it's crazy because Russia is huge, to compare to Ukraine, and they're still defending their country. Have you heard about the fighter jet in Ukraine who shot down 6 Russian fighter jets?
Oh, they call them the Kai?
The Ghost of Kari? Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
the ghost or something.
Yeah,
right?
so-
He took out 6, and unfortunately, he got shot down. But people thought he was dead for 5 hours. Come to find out, he was alive. Got another fighter jet, and he's like, round 2, let's go.
Beautiful.
But it goes to show you, when we sign up, we're here for our country.
Even though the boxers, the brothers, the I think it's Klushker brothers or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
they're fighting on the front lines.
Oh
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the
Right,
president of
right.
Ukraine.
Yeah,
Remember the famous Ukraine boxers,
Yeah,
the big ones. They
yeah.
fought Tyson. They fought him.
They're out there fighting.
They're
They're out there fighting.
They up in
Wow.
arms.
Crazy.
Quick,
Wow,
funny story
man,
too.
mad respect.
There's-
Fuck.
Yeah.
There's a
For real.
story. There's a story about a.
They don't need to do that.
Even the
No, they
president's
don't.
out there fighting.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need a riot back. I need ammunition.
Ammunition.
That's what he needs.
yeah.
He told that to
That's what he
Biden.
said.
But, hold on, but hold that thought. Now that we mentioned that, because Biden, I'm gonna go back to
Yeah,
that.
say it again.
But Biden was like, "Oh, I'll get you out. I'll get you out." He's like, "I don't want to go out. I don't need a ride. I need ammunition."
Yeah.
Right. So and this is very important because Russia didn't do this during the Trump during the Trump presidential. He did that. He took over Crimea under Obama, stopped under Trump. Biden got in, and now he went to Ukraine. He said this for a long time that he's trying to rebuild the USSR. So what's next after Ukraine? Romania, Bulgaria, and other countries. They already know what's coming, but this would have never happened. So for the people who ask, why are you blaming Biden? Because weak leadership makes this happen.
It's true, but why do you think Putin hasn't gone harder yet? It's not like he can't flatten them in a day. I like. What are we at, day 4?
Because China's involved.
Okay, but China's involved. But Putin lost 3,000 soldiers the other day.
Yeah,
I can't believe he's just sitting back saying
they are trying to see how the USA administration reacts. There was an article that came out about that say that the Russia and China, because China wants to take over Taiwan, right? And there's jets already flying over Taiwan.
right.
That they are watching to see how we react, and the way that we reacting is weak right now. So that's a big thing of
That's
of
the
concern.
thing. Ever since after he became president, it's always weakness. Like I remember there was a tweet that someone was saying that they were breakfast with Trump, and Trump told them that like, hey, like don't play with me. I'm gonna mess you up if you try to play games
yeah.
with me.
Well,
Well, they would never done that to Trump.
The foreign policy, there's a Twitter that he put out, and this was Trump's policy. He said, "Someone tell Kim Jong that I got a bigger butt than he does."
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and mine works.
Yeah.
So in other words, he'll punch you in the mouth, and that's why they didn't do anything. Biden, did you see that press conference that he did? He was like, and I told Putin in his face that he sounds so weak. He sounds like a little kid trying to explain of how he told his bully
That's
to
the
back
thing,
off.
and they take advantage of that, and it's unfortunate that because when people look at the U.S., they're like, we don't want to mess with them. We don't want to be 1-on-1 against them.
When they see the U.S. in a having any weakness, they're gonna attack.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the unfortunate part.
That's what's going on.
Now, Isaac, why do you think I understand the China thing and everything else, but Putin just lost 3,000 of his men, probably more, that they're just hiding. I don't care. China, U.S., for that man to not go harder, I don't get it. So to me, I look at the money. Biden got a shit ton of money all of a sudden. To me, there's not a conspiracy, but there's something isn't adding up. You could say China, you could say whatever. I understand that they're watching to see what the U.S. does, but the man just lost soldiers. Cash App. Go to cash.app. Cash App, the easiest way to send money, spend money, save money, and buy cryptocurrency. Cash App believes in providing everyone with access to important financial services so they can fully participate in the economy. Sign up today for Cash App. Use the code MSCS. Additionally, once signed up, create an invite code. When a friend uses the invite code and sends $5 or more from a newly created Cash App account, another bonus will arrive within 14 days. That's cash.app or download the app and sign up. Cash App. Fucking crazy.
But I mean, even look at Moscow's exchange. Their stock
But you don't
market
think he
just
already
went-
planned for this? Like, these bullshit
In World War
sanctions?
II, remember the policy was in Russia, you go and fight. If you run back, they shoot you. So they didn't care about losing life, right? So do you remember that movie Enemy at the Gates?
Enemy at the gates. Heck yeah.
The Stalingrad during World War II, they brought thousands of Russians to fight the Germans, and they only had one gun for two people. So if the person with the gun, you had to run behind that person. If you get shot down, you pick up the gun and you run. That was their policy. And if by any chance that you see that you're getting slaughtered and you start running back, they shoot you. So they don't really care for life.
Yeah.
So for us, you'd be like, man, he lost 3,000 people. You think that matters to him? He doesn't.
Yeah.
The
Now you made a good point.
Yeah, the agenda, the narrative of we're gonna take, and unfortunately, I don't see Ukraine coming out of this. I respect people that are fighting for it, but we're talking about Russia and Ukraine. Unless other countries come into and start fighting, which is going to be a huge problem, then I don't see this really having a solution.
I think my thing is that he didn't expect Ukraine to really like push back. And I'm gonna tell you this: Ukraine defended their capital. They stopped the capital.
I can't believe he didn't
Right?
get in there yet.
I mean, let's be honest, right? Did Putin ever thought that one fighter jet from Ukraine is going to shoot down 6 of his? Did he ever expected that? No.
this
Here's
is what makes heroes, yeah.
But that's the thing about it. You have
So that definitely did happen.
oh yeah, that definitely did happen. It is confirmed.
Holy
It is
shit.
confirmed, and it is crazy. You
They-
know,
Yeah, it's
They
amazing.
shot down his fucking boy.
Again,
He's sitting
the
in
ghost-
that
Yeah,
chair.
he's
the ghost of Kyrra, which is the capital of Ukraine. And it goes to show you like these Ukrainians are all about like their country. They wanted to sacrifice their country. Even the president. That's the thing. Here's the two difference about them, right?
Yep,
You have
good point,
Putin,
man.
who's going to the gym, working on making sure he looks nice in his clothes and whatnot, and you have a Ukrainian president who comes down and he's like, "I'm gonna fight with my people. I'm gonna show them that this is the true presidency. I'm gonna show you how it's run." Like you said, like
And they were breaking his balls, how he's a comedian and everything else.
And an actor,
well,
too.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's out there with a fucking AK machine gun with everybody else. Come on.
He's using
fucking
but
respect.
he's using the
definitely.
same game plan that Hitler did. Hitler took over Poland. He's taking over Ukraine, and so it's a repetition of history.
yep.
And if
he's-
we don't get involved in it, it's going to be a big problem.
And I think that's to answer your question, and that's probably why he hasn't like gone crazy. It's because he's trying to be more tactical. He's not trying to be a repeat of Hitler, where Hitler at one point got too excessive and tried to push too much. That at one point, it all ended him, and because of that, it started to minimize
Well,
and started losing stuff. So
I'm a political major, so you know what happened during World War II? Germany. Do you know why Germany lost World War II?
What?
They went against Russia, and that's why Stalin was like, "Oh, okay, you want it because they try to like betray them and take over Russia," and Stalin was like, "Oh, okay, I thought we were friends." And what happened? Berlin came down. We invaded USA, and the Russians took over, and we took over Berlin, and that's where Hitler died.
Now,
So Russia's no one to play with.
Isaac, if
Elijah.
Elijah, yeah.
Elijah, fuck, or fucking people stuff. If they take over Ukraine, which they probably are going to, unless they negotiate some type of deal, what do you think happens after that? What kind of atmosphere does that set for the next move?
I mean, I definitely like just what Glenn was saying is they're definitely gonna look for more, like going down to Romania and all different other countries around that area. So it's definitely something that they're looking for expansion. So it's something definitely that the whole world needs to be aware of. So it's pretty honestly it's frightening times right now.
Do you see a World War III coming?
I'm not the best to answer that question, but honestly, I can see major conflict, but I don't know if it's going to be a World War III just because
I mean,
it'll be a nuclear
draft.
Yeah, it'll be like a nuclear. There's too many nuclear weapons, so I don't think. I know Putin is probably sitting in his chair and wants to continue on what he's doing, but I don't think he's going to push forward to have Russia at major risk.
I don't think there's going to be any nuclear war because at one point, okay, he pushes a button, we push a button, and the technology is so high that we can destroy nuclear warheads in space and whatnot.
Well, you saw Musk sent that satellite up there so that they could get
Man.
that took some balls.
Can we take a pause on that?
That took some balls.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
This man said, if you guys not gonna help, I'm gonna help, and this is what we're gonna do.
Elon Musk, he sent a satellite up into the space so that Ukraine had communications.
A man, a solo man is like, let's shoot this up.
That's a man too.
Yeah.
That's a gazillionaire that really, I mean, he deals with Russia, and he likes to set shit off out there.
Yeah.
But he's got a heart.
He does.
North Korea has been doing tests too. By the way, they launched, I think today or yesterday, they did tests for nuclear warheads. But we're not gonna get there because you have to have a defensive USA, a defensive Germany, a defensive England. They're not defensive. We have stuff to stop nuclear war. Right, So what's really going to happen? And one thing with Russia, Russia's old school. Russia's freaking huge, but Russia. When you hear the news and they said they got ground forces, when's the last time we had a ground war?
Yeah,
Vietnam. So
that's a good point.
So when if he goes to invade, it's not just planes. It's not just like technology because he is doing cyber warfare as well.
Yeah.
But he's bringing ground troops back, man. These guys are freaking doing TikToks. You saw that? Did you see that? They were jumping out of a plane and recording themselves doing TikTok, saying, "Hey, we're invading Ukraine."
I did not see that.
And you know what?
You didn't see that?
I gotta scroll on my TikTok and see.
You know what?
It was insane.
There was a guy on Fox last night, and it was like an old guy, old time Green Beret, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he was breaking it down. He goes, when you're in war, when there's passion and reason. So Ukraine has a reason to fight. They understand why they're fighting. They're trying to protect their country. These Russian soldiers are going in there saying, why the fuck are we going in here like this? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
And he was saying that in war, passion means more than anything.
And
Even if you lose,
Yeah.
when you have the passion and you know what you're fighting for, it's a lot different than when somebody goes in and you're kind of like, why am I really doing this? And I'm on TikTok.
It's really about the message, because people ask like, why did these Germans do what Hitler said? His message. You seen his speeches, the way he talked to them, the way he empowered them and said, "You're German, you're an Aryan race. We're on top of the world. You need to fight for this." So people believed it. They embodied it. Putin is doing that halfway because there's still a independent freedom thinker in Russia. That's why they still have those protests that are going on and that he's shutting down. But if he gets his message right, which I hope he doesn't, but if he gets his message right, he is the new modern day Hitler that's trying to take over.
But it looks like his own people are turning against him.
To a certain extent, but Russia's
the
huge.
Yeah, they're
whole
huge.
world,
Yeah.
the whole
The whole world.
is
Yeah,
taking
that's
against them. People
more
are
important,
dumping.
yeah.
People are dumping like their vodka. People are like not supporting them, not sending that stuff to
You
them.
stop talking about vodka right now.
But like it's
he likes his
crazy.
Kettle One.
It's crazy. And that's and that's crazy. Like this modern day time about social media, how much it can influence anybody and everything, And because of that, like Russia is getting no type of support, whatsoever. And that's just, that's
But
crazy.
you have to put it in perspective though. Russia's Russia, man. Russia has fought dirty wars. In El Salvador, we fought a war because of Russia. Remember, Russia was bringing communism into Nicaragua, into El Salvador. We didn't fight Russia, But guess what happened? We fought the concept of communism in El Salvador, but USA was Ronald Reagan sent U.S. troops. Russia sent troops in El Salvador. That's why it's called a dirty war, because it was really USA versus Russia in a foreign land. So those are buffer zones. Nicaragua lost. So it's not about the people. This is very important because it's the mindset and how they got brainwashed. They were fighting the government, or they say it's really USA and Russia that were fighting there to make sure that doesn't become a buffer zone. Because if they fall like they did, like Cuba did and Nicaragua did, now Russia has a footstool there. So it's not really the country. So when people talk about El Salvador, it's not a civil war. That was a dirty war. That was Russia trying to come in El Salvador, and Ronald Reagan sent troops and we fought. What happened in Vietnam, there was the same thing, but Nixon and everyone were sending the troops in there, and they couldn't hide it anymore. They said it was training them to fight, but it just became an all-out war.
You see why I'm asking that question? Because to the average person, it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're sitting and we're like, why hasn't he made a move? Like, this is Putin here. I mean, he's a beast. I mean, he's a piece of shit, but he's a beast. Straight up, he's a beast.
Yeah, but I think what the thing about it, and of course, let me just say this.
So, like what I was just saying is that he's a beast. So, for the citizen on the outside, it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But you guys explained it really well, what's going on. Because I was thinking as well, like, there's got to be something.
The big question, right, is, and of course, this is our personal opinion, and it has nothing to do with how the Marine Corps view it, of course, but
disclaimer.
But it all depends on what China does to Taiwan, right? Because if Taiwan gets hit, right, and this, like, U.S. citizens or U.S. soldiers, Marines or whatnot, people are going to expect or going to want some type of answer, retaliation, or some type of, not we're going to talk to him. No, it's going to be some type of retaliation. We already got hurt with what happened with Afghanistan. With those,
let's not even go there, man. Let's not even go there, bro.
And but I just want to bring it up, because it's crazy, because we already dealt with, and everybody realized, like, dang, we lost these people, right? Imagine if China goes to Taiwan and they drop bombs and we come out, it's not just 13, it's 14, 15, 20, 30, 40.
This is the problem. If China takes over Taiwan, we're absolutely at war. Absolutely at war.
100%.
We have so much trade and so much going on in Taiwan. If that happens, we're 100% going to war. There's no chance about it, because it happened in history already.
That's what
we've been neutral during World War II. What made us go into war in World War I? When they attacked our ships. What happened in World War II? Pearl Harbor, right? So if they go to Taiwan, we have soldiers in Taiwan, bro.
The thing about it is that look at our president.
We have people there.
Look at our president right now. That's the thing about it, right? Because people who voted for him, right, are expecting. You
mean the dead people?
Are expecting peace, are expecting, like, no war, no nothing, right?
It's a false utopia.
It's a false, and you're gonna have people who be like, "Yo, send us to war. We're ready. All this stuff. We're ready to defend our country." And you have individuals who are like, "No, I want peace." And it's gonna, wherever his decision is, right? Which I don't know, because the way how it is, the way how he is, I don't know what he's gonna do exactly if Taiwan was to get bombed, and then we lost Marine soldiers, family, sisters.
He's really not doing anything, though, because there's other people behind him. The guy can barely read a script.
All right, last two questions, right? Do you think that happens? Do you think China do you think China invades Taiwan? Do you think
I think that's,
like, from 1 to 100%?
I think 90% that's going to happen.
Isaac, what do you think?
I'm
1 to 100.
Elijah.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to just go with the initials.
Yeah.
EK.
You call me EK. That's fine.
EK 1 to 100%.
I don't know if I can't make a determination. I just,
so you're like
get
50,
a percentage.
50, 50,
I'll just say 50-50.
What do you say?
Shoot, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna give you an exact number, right? I'm gonna say 73.4333.
This guy, he's got a spread. He's got a spread going on. Did you bet money on this?
Yeah. What calculation did you use?
Yeah, you got a boiler room in there.
I know, for real.
Running some numbers or something.
Oh man,
I want to
because you
understand.
numbers. You gotta understand, right? Like, let's be honest, how China is. They're insane, right?
They've been trying to do this for a long time.
They've been trying to do this. So they see Russia, and let's say Russia, it's getting to the capital, getting closer and closer to victory. China be like, ooh, this is our opportunity to go.
It's always been Russia and China.
China is the one that, my personal opinion, are the ones who's gonna keep pushing. They're gonna
Well, they're probably
want more.
financing. They get all that freaking money. But just to bring things back in circle, all this was going on, Tommy, is affecting rates. Rates have jumped up 3 times.
Man.
The feds, and now people who have a 700, almost 800 credit score are almost in the 4s.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Insane.
Almost 4% interest rate. If you had like a 740 plus credit score in December, I'm quoting you like 1.75, maybe 2. Highest 2.5. You're giving me crap. Now today
4%,
almost 4%.
Yes.
We are giving out rates at 3.5 to 4.5. It's not just Parada Mortgage. It's everybody. We all follow the same thing because of what's going on. So these policies, what's going on in the world, these mismanagement of everything is causing this increase.
Wait, 800 credit score, 4%?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's crazy to even think about it.
Wow,
Because,
that doesn't even
Yep.
come close to the gas prices. And all the other.
Well,
That's fucking
you have
huge.
inflation and everything going on. These things affect.
Wow.
Worldwide.
Last thing. Do you think the United States will step in at all to help Ukraine? I mean, at all, like throw them like a bag? Anything?
I think they're helping them out currently, right? Like
they're giving them like artillery or something. But I mean, actually, do something to.
They're just doing sanctions and
They
stuff.
don't want
like
rights,
that.
though.
I mean, do you think they'll actually do anything?
No, not with this administration. They
No,
won't.
you don't think so?
Like I said, I don't know.
You're
Yeah.
50-50.
No foreign policy.
Man, to be honest with you, I think that's the only thing we're willing to do, right? Is to some way somehow get some help, give them help, and unfortunately, we think that. Well, I'm not going to say we. President Biden thinks that, hey, they need rides. They don't need rides. They need ammunition.
That's it.
And so to me I think they will help them. How, I'm not sure. Maybe no matter if it's food, hopefully ammunition, and whatever they need over there. But I know at the end of the day, the U.S., anybody around as well, has their back. They see Ukraine pushing, and I truly firmly believe that if we're not helping now, we're definitely gonna help out some sort of way. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to push a war.
Yeah, at the end of the day, everything that's going on, we're on top of the markets. So to bring it back again to Parada Mortgage, we have all these Marines, man.
Yeah,
They know what's going on, and we educate the people. But it's about
and you can trust it because you
Yeah.
got Marines working for you, and it's
The-
ethical.
the
Yes.
Forbes article came out in 2020, and it said that Parada Mortgage is hiring veterans, and that's what we're doing. They're not veterans; they're still serving. They're still serving.
Yeah.
And the article also said they're going to Texas, they're going to California, Maryland. What's going on next, guys? That's where we're going. That's where we're building that.
Oh, yeah.
We have a Marine that's going. Who's the Marine that's going to California?
Christian.
Christian. He's going to California. He's going to build out there.
Good move.
Right,
Good
so we're just expanding and we're building, but we have everyone's has their own little personality. Like we got a dancer. He was almost in that movie Step Up. This guy, we go out to Bradley's. He starts dancing. He hears music and he's just dancing, and people love. I've seen it. Like I honestly sometimes I'm embarrassed. Right, because I'm just trying to have a meal, and he's over there.
He's on the stage dancing.
He's over there,
yes.
like two-stepping the family and everything. But people are applauding, and that's just who he is.
It's a good vibe.
Let me say this right now.
And we got the bodybuilder over here, and then he's all about nutrition. So
I just want to say, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't dance at all. I'm a very shy person. Yeah, but no, it's awesome. To have everyone has their own personality. And it's so cool because when we come together as a family, I'll be dancing. He'll be telling me about bodybuilding and stuff like that. Honestly, when it comes to me prepping my food and whatnot, he'll tell me exactly how to do it, whatnot, and stuff like that. And it's so cool because everybody has their own thing. And you just kind of put into it, just like him. His thing is about mortgages, man. We go to his house, his crib, and he tells us stuff, and we're like, oh man, this
I take out the whiteboard.
Oh
sometimes.
Yeah, it's good to see this because you don't see it anymore. So thank you, Isaac. Thank you, EK. Thank you. I did that purposely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Isaac.
Yeah.
Brian, thank you for introducing me to these guys. I hope you guys come back again.
I'll definitely.
Absolutely.
I'd love to do it again with you guys.
Oh man.
And Mr. Future President, keep pushing.
We'll make it
Thank you,
happen.
sir.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Thank you.